to NXT TNA review recap. Not trademarked because we're not professional. Well, no, we are professionals, but we're not professionals. Anyway, I'm going to start us off. Jumping out the gate, we start with NXT. Same place as always, same ring announcers as always. Don't need to go over that.
Except for tomorrow or tonight.
Well, yes, but this is NXT, not tonight. So shut the fuck up. Anyway.
You know what?
We start off. Wait,
I'm trying to make sure we're that stuff up.
Oh, that's right. This is the first match. For some reason, my brain was going to the last week's. I think that's because it hadn't updated yet. But we start off, as always, with a banger. We start right into the action. Trick Williams versus Josh Briggs with Yoshiki Inamura at ringside for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And you know what? I don't like Trick. In fact, I hate him. Piece of shit. Terrible champion. But scam likely. Anyway, I will give him his props. He didn't cheat. He didn't pull any bullshit. He didn't have AJ Francis or anybody come down there. He beat Josh Briggs fair and square. Do I agree with it? Absolutely not. I think it was bullshit. I think Josh went down way too easy. But I will give.
I'm gonna say this. Did Josh Briggs go down easy? Maybe. But I'm going to tell you this. And again, I keep the rehash it. But it was just that bad. He did not go down near as horribly looking as fucking Gunther at Mania.
Exactly.
And
at least I almost believe that Josh Briggs could have lost that.
Yeah, exactly.
I was still like, what?
That's true.
Gunther, what?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But anyway, Josh Briggs gave it a hell of a fight. I do, but you know what? This is one thing, and I will give this to Trick too. He has long ass limbs, and he takes advantage of them, and nobody seems to realize it. This motherfucker is like 6'7". I'm exaggerating a little bit. He's like 6'2", but he got long ass arms and legs. If he's even remotely near the ropes, literally that one time, I think it was against it was either.
I think it was Elijah.
It was either Elijah or Joe Hendry. Literally a fingertip. Like the very, very tip of his finger was touching the rope.
Yeah.
And it forced a break on the pinfall. They would have been the champion, retained, become the new champion, whatever. Get the motherfucker away from the ropes. That's what I don't care. He could be like 3'5". Still, get him away from the ropes.
Yep.
Anyway, but Trick retains, unfortunately. Then we go back to the No Quarter Catch Crew dojo, and Tavion Heights is showing what's her name? Do you know her name?
Bryn Sinclair.
Bryn Sinclair. He's showing her like a video of the surgery. I don't know. They had to do on like his lip or upper jaw or something. He got injured apparently during the training session or whatever. And
Dempsey did it on purpose.
Yeah, he's blaming him.
100% believe. But he did wear a mask coming out of the ring, so I don't know how much of that was.
I don't know if it was even 1% real or 100% bullshit. It could have been 100% real and no percent bullshit. I don't know. Either way, it was an interesting story. Whether it was real or fake, it was interesting. But, you know, Ren is standing up for Dempsey. You know, he cares about Tavion. He just wants to make him better. They're a family. You know, it was just a training accident. It happens. And Charlie's like, you know what? I'll have no problem facing Javon Evans tonight if Tavion can't. And Tavion's like, no. The doctors have cleared me. I just got to wear this, like you said, protective face covering. He says that Dempsey won't have to care about his well-being because he still plans to leave the No Quarter Catch crew. Then Miles Bourne is talking shop with George Gumps and Tyreek Sapp of the. Oh, right, I forget. He's talking to some random ass football players.
Yeah, in the back.
And then Alexis King comes in. and he's talking to
What's he? What's he say? Does it say when he?
no, but he goes like, Miles, I get it. Me and you were cut from the same cloth. We're a lot alike. I don't remember exactly what he says, but Miles is just ignoring him. Like he's continuing on his conversation.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. You have to be looking at me to hear me. And Miles turns around, and is like, "I hear you," and goes right back to like, "I hear you," and blah blah blah, right back into the conversation.
Yeah,
like, not even he stopped to like, "Yeah, I hear you,"
and then just moves the fuck on, like you like a fly on the wall. And Lex is like, you should really take my advice. And Miles like, bitch, I don't want your advice. Unlike you, I didn't take you took every shortcut possible. I worked my ass off to get where I'm at today. And the truth is, or no, it says, Lexus, you are truly your father's son, and that will never change. And then the random football players are making fun of Lexus, his painted beard.
Yeah.
And he calls the Florida Gators losers. And then he just backs away because they get up in his face.
Yeah, and they're like, they look at Miles and like, what is up with
the painted beard? Yeah, like I don't know.
I don't think any of us know.
I still love.
Dar.
Let me get that off for you. You got a little smudge there, buddy.
Yeah, that was funny. I'm sad that he's had one match and is already gone again.
Yeah, that sucks. Then we get our second match of the night: Javon Evans versus Tavion Heights. And I'll be honest, Tavion was putting on a clinic because he did exactly what you're meant to do against any high flyer, especially Javon Evans. He grabbed that boy and he sat his ass down in the middle of that ring.
Yeah, he did.
Because
he really tried to keep him as down as he could.
Because Tavion, I haven't seen much. In fact, I think this might be the first time I've seen Tavion in a match. But he's a very technical wrestler. Grappling, restraining, sitting your ass down, wearing you down. Which Javon was having trouble against this boy. But it only takes the snap, the drop of a hat or the drop of a pin, however the old saying goes. Javon gets up. He starts bouncing around, kicking, flying, jumping, doing all his crazy bullshittery. And he manages to pull up the win with the hold it in the row.
Yeah,
which is isn't it just like it's a somersault, right?
Yeah.
It's a weird ass fucking finisher move or whatever. But he picks up the victory.
And
but
this
was so horrendously stupid. After the match, Jasper Troy comes in and he plants Javon with a black hole slam, and I'm just like, but why? I get that he's a heel. I get that he's... But this has never made sense to me. You're not proving anything. You're just proving that you're a sore loser. And also, for some reason, can't take compliments. Like, literally, last week, Javon complimented him, and Jasper was like, no, fuck you. I don't get it. But like I said, Tavion put on a clinic, so I'm interested to see where he goes from here, what he's able to do. Because I think he is ready to go off on his own, but obviously he's going to be stuck with Dempsey's bitch ass for a little while longer.
But then we get D'Angelo, Lucia, Crucifino, and Stacks whole kind of their storyline.
Yeah, they're going back over what's happened between them all.
Which again, we get this a lot during Raw and SmackDown, but these are like 2 minutes, and they're actually the
important stuff.
Yeah,
like the stuff that's like, oh, that's interesting. I'm invested in that.
Yeah,
not the 5-10 minute drawn out of every little detail. Like I don't need to know that. Anyway.
So
and we go from one match. We have this little vignette, and then we're right into the next match. Ricky Sainz versus Asante the Adonis. And this was okay. I don't think it was it was definitely not my favorite of the night.
No, but
it was a good showing on both parts. Ricky Sainz pulls up the win, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He connects with the...
But here's the thing. After that, he wins. He grabs the microphone. He starts to say something. I
But
don't even remember if he gets anything out.
I don't think so. Because
Then Ethan Page shows up on the video, and he's like, Ricky. We've been doing this for a while now. And then his like video starts shaking and getting all staticky and freezes.
And then he pops up from not the bottom of the ring, but like the back of the ring, clocks Saints with the North American Championship.
Yeah.
And then just boom, boom, boom,
Which
boom. And then to top it all off, he hits Ricky with his own finisher, the Rochambeau. So that's. Oh wait, did we? I don't remember a Dark State vignette. Was I in the bathroom when that happened?
Yes.
Huh.
And it really wasn't. It was just them talking.
Yeah.
Saying what their plans were.
That's fair. But then we get Oba Femi. He comes down to the ring. Since January the 7th, 2025, I have been your NXT champion. And in that time, I've put down any challenger that stepped forward to impose me. The best from NXT, TNA, Raw, SmackDown. One by one they come, and one by one they fell. And you know what that makes them? That makes them footnotes to my legacy. Capable contenders, but footnotes. And now I sit comfortably at the top of the pedestal. But this is where it gets dangerous. Because any man in my position would start to rest on their laurels, would start to coast and bask in the euphoria of his victories. But the ruler is not just any man now, is he? I get restless when I'm idle. I get restless when there's no contenders, when there's no competition, because I live to fight. I enjoy the fight. I embrace the fight, and I need challengers. So, any man who thinks they're worthy to take this title from me, any man who thinks they can step up to the ruler themselves, this is your opportunity. This is your moment. The ruler is ready.
And then Yoshika Imahara shows up, and he's like, I come to NXT to chase glory, just like you. But when it didn't come, I went home to Japan. I realized all the things I've missed. My partner, Briggs. My best friend, Briggs. But I missed NXT because I love NXT. I love the culture. I love the passion of the fans. I want to pay them back by becoming NXT champion. I want bigger. I want bigger. And you want that title. And you and that title are bigger.
Mr. Inamara, you know one thing that we both have in common is that we both know what it's like to be strangers in a different place. And I made this place my home a long time ago. And ever since then, NXT has been my kingdom. And I've thrived ever since the beginning. And that's where we're different. Because you've had your fair share of struggles that made you go back to Japan, but that is why they have embraced you, because you came back, you turned the tide, and you did it all with a smile on your face. But you can't fool me. You can't fool me. I see beyond that smile. I know that man has a fighting warrior spirit who craves the fight just as much as I do. So, Inamara, you want to fight for the honor? Big mistake. Because when you face the ruler, you will fall. Just like everybody else.
And I love this because he is like right up in his face. He's like, I'm ready.
Then he goes to leave the ring, and once again, Jasper Troy comes in with a running body block, takes him out, and he gets up. He has the audacity to get up on the ring apron and look Oba in his face and say, we have unfinished business. Bitch, no you don't. You threw your best shot. You attacked him before the match. You put him through the windshield of a car. You banged up his ribs. You went out there and you still got put the fuck down. There is no unfinished business. He finished your business for you.
Yep.
Now you're just butthurt because you didn't win.
And here's the thing. And, you can take this for whatever you want, whatever it's worth. My opinion. I like Jasper Troy.
I do too.
But this
is just this is insult to his ability.
Yes.
Yes. Very much.
Because here's the thing. I know he's going for I know he's a heel persona, whatever, blah 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 blah. But when I think of Jasper Troy, I think of like not to compare him, but the next Braun Strowman, the big guy, the powerhouse, the guy who comes out there, doesn't need to use cheap tactics, cheap tricks, doesn't need to attack people from behind. He's just going to go out there and whoop your ass because he is that big and he is that bad.
And they're making him look like a bitch.
Yeah.
For a lack of a better thing to say. I don't know how else to say it and not make it sound bad, but this is one thing I don't like that NXT is doing, is the stuff with him.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely, after seeing him in LFG last year, I feel
was
like...
it last year? I'm pretty sure it was this year.
Well, I mean, like
last season. Yeah.
They jump into that season so quick.
Yeah,
Usually it's like at least a good 6 months to a year, but they tried to ride through the success of the first season. So, anyway, point being, the first season, he was great. Like, the character was just great. I felt like they had really developed kind of this Jasper Troy thing.
Yeah.
To where he was the monster.
Yeah, he could have this dark persona, but still be...
And I don't like that he's using, I guess, heel tactics. But like what you said, does he really need that? I mean, if they're gonna make
like you can be a heel and not cheat, I guess.
Yeah.
Like you can I'm thinking of a Gunther as a prime example.
Yes.
And I think he's the best example. I can't really think of many others, but I know there's actually no, Rusev does do blindsiding bullshit too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Gunther has too, but here's the thing what I'm getting at. Is there is a way to do and there's a way not to do.
Yeah. I agree.
And I feel like Jasper Troy's is definitely here's what not to do.
Yeah, I feel like, because here's the thing. Going out there and hitting somebody from behind doesn't make you look powerful. If he wanted to do this, he would have come out there, he would have had his entrance music hit, and he would have ran down there and dropped Inamara face to face. He wouldn't have attacked him from behind. The same thing with...
Or even while he's still in the ring, not walking out of the ring and walking up type thing. He would have got in there, say, with Oba. If you're that big and bad, you think you can take out Oba.
Yeah.
Drop Inahara in front of Oba.
Make your statement. Not... Because, like I said, blindsiding somebody, hitting them from behind in the back of the head while their back is turned to you doesn't prove... I could do that.
Exactly.
I could go up and hit Oba in the back of the skull with a running knee strike and drop him on his ass.
I don't think you can get your foot that high.
You get the point. And I could if I tried real hard. I might fall on my own ass afterwards, but point being.
Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that I don't like this version of Jasper Troy.
I agree.
I like Jasper Troy. I think he is a great wrestler. I think he can be a potential fantastic heel.
I just don't think
I don't think this is the right heel path for him.
Because I have no problem with you coming down there and causing chaos, attacking people, but it's the way you go about it.
Yeah, even from behind, because we see countless people do that.
But I'm saying, I think
if you're going to put yourself as I am the next big star.
Yeah, I'm the next big guy. Come out there. You can attack people all you want. But attack them in their face and simply overpower them. Like I said, anybody can attack somebody from behind, get the jump on them, and lay them out. I could do it. He could do it. You could do it.
Yeah.
But if you want to come out there and make a statement of I am I am bad, I am powerful. Come out there, attack them, and just beat the fuck out of them.
Yep,
Don't do it from
exactly.
behind where their back is turned and all you gotta do is go, eh.
Hey, you want to get us off the screen?
Oh, yes. I didn't think about that.
I mean, we're live. I just have to look up there and I'm like, wait.
Whenever it wants to load. But, moving on. This was interesting to say the least.
I still think there is more to this story that's going to play out.
Obviously. But Izzy Dame comes backstage and she hands Tatum Paxley a new doll. But she also has a question that she's a little nervous to ask. And she says, Tatum, how would you like to be in my corner for tonight's main event? And you can see Tatum's like, wait, really? Like, she's super excited. But then, Sol Ruka and Zarya interrupt. Zarya says that if Tatum wants to believe that Izzy is being genuine, then let her. But Izzy's like, I'm glad that you're still not bitter about her. And Izzy is talking to Zarya. Is like, I'm so glad to see you're not bitter about your loss from last week. Then she tells the closest you will ever get to a championship is the title that you're sharing with your best friend. Then she tells Tatum that she would love to see her in her corner tonight. And she introduces Tatum to the Culling. Sean Spears has heard many good things about her. And Tatum says that she'll be there. Spears and Nico also have their eyes on championship gold. And then Izzy walks away with Tatum in tow.
Yeah, they're like hand in hand type thing. And it's like, oh, this is gonna. And then we.
Is this what I think it is? I think this is what I think it is. Yes, it is. So, Trick Williams is backstage bitching about Joe Hendry in the locker room.
Average Joe was called me.
Wesley comes up and he tells Trick Williams that he got himself a match with Joe Hendry tonight.
Or next week.
Yeah, next week. Next week.
Like, I got a match with Joe Hendry next week, and he stops and he.
Okay, we're good. We're good. And I know it's goofy and silly, but it was so fucking funny at the time.
It was spot on what it needed to be.
Yeah.
Like that moment of like.
Okay, he's not here.
Let's say his name and he appears.
Yeah.
I thought it would have been great to like at the end.
He just peeks around the corner or some shit.
Like, even if he had to like crawl in, just have him like stand up and be like right behind like the whole entire group type thing.
That would have been great. But Trick tells the High Rise to take care of Joe Hendry next week, and then he promises to owe Wesley one in the future.
Stroke.
No.
Stroke.
Oh God, this was bad. It was a great match, but it was bad. Our fourth match, Tony D'Angelo versus Channing Lorenzo for the WWE NXT Heritage Cup Championship. Now, once again, if you don't know the rules...
You need to understand it. Channing Lorenzo is fat.
Yes. Well, I was more speaking of the Heritage Cup. Thank God now that fucking Lexis King is no longer champion, has gone back to the Heritage Cup rules, which is 6 rounds.
3 minutes.
3 minutes each with I think it's 30 seconds or a minute intermission between. And first to 2 wins the cup.
Is it 2? Yeah, 2 wins.
Yeah. It's 6 rounds or first to 2 wins. So we go through the first match and they are just in there throwing haymakers at each other. But nobody gets a pinfall or a submission. And they even after the bell, they're both just slugging out. The referee has to separate them. A second round, though, Tony comes out swinging. He hits Stacks with a double leg takedown, and he gets him on a ground and pound, a running haymaker, and, they go back and forth for a bit. But Angelo, I mean, he spears Stacks clean out of his boots. Picks up the first victory. Excuse me. A lot of the third match takes place during the commercial break. When we get back, Angelo uses his feet to create separation. He goes for a body slam. Lorenzo lands back on his feet. Then he kicks the left knee of Tony. He nails him with a leaping knee drop for a 2 count as the time expires. And then after the bell rings, Stacks kicks Tony in the face. And then when we go into the 4th round, and you can see Tony is hurt. Like he's holding his knee. He's barely able to get back to a vertical base. 4th match starts, and Angelo comes in swinging haymakers. He whips him across the ring. He goes up for a pop-up spine buster, but his knee gives out. Then Lorenzo kicks his left knee and ties things up with an inside cradle for a victory, I believe. Because then we get
the
5th round. And this is a shit show.
This is where shit started getting...
Because
Lucius,
he shows up. And
he shows up supposedly for Tony.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. We're a little bit at odds with this. But Lucius tells Tony you can trust me. And so they start going with the match.
But at some point, we forgot to mention that Stack showed up with 3 goons. And when I mean goons, not even named wrestlers, just dudes in white t-shirts.
Yeah.
Fucking the Goon Squad, the Doom Bots as I call them. Rolled up. And I think they try to get in the ring. Lorenzo gets in, knocks him out, and then he's wrestling
a chair. And here
is it a chair? I thought it was like a steel, like a little trash can.
Yeah, it was like a little trash can.
But he's trying to wrestle it from him. And Stacks is on the outside of the ropes, and Lucia manages to free it, but in the process, whips it up, smashes D'Angelo in the lower back with it, which allows Stacks to get the hardway suplex and then a running knee to pick up the victory. And then after the match, Lucia's in the ring. He's apologizing. But Angelo just, boom, right to the face, dropping him. And then he just says, I don't trust you or Stacks. And I'm like, well, of course you don't trust fucking Stacks. But
here's the thing. I keep saying that I don't think that I think he's working with him. I'm not sure where Lucia's really going with this.
It's very clearly he's with Tony. You literally called it. It's Rizzo that's working with Stacks. And Stacks just keeps, throwing shit out there oh, thank you, Lucia, whatever, to get in Tony's head.
I don't know.
Once again, there's zero reason, absolutely zero reason for Lucia to be pretending to be on Tony's side. If he was working with Stacks, he would just be working with Stacks. And then Tony would be off on his own. And then Tony would probably go recruit Rizzo to be on his side again, go get another member to join the family, whatever, to fight Stacks off.
But like I said, I know it's Rizzo. I'm pretty sure Rizzo is his concierge or whatever they're calling it. I'm pretty sure that's who is on his side, although they haven't really come out and said it yet.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Stacks is, or not Stacks, but if Lorenzo is there, or not
Lucia?
Yeah. I don't know if Crucifino's there too with Stacks.
No. No, absolutely not.
I don't know.
Exactly.
0% chance.
I'm gonna not say 0.
0%. Anyway, we go backstage where Sarah Scriber, right?
Mhm.
Sarah Scriber is having an interview with Fatal Influence. You know, she brings up the fact that they ruined Blake Monroe's contract signing last week, and Fallon Henley took exception with Blake Monroe thinking that she could walk into the deepest women's division in the world and go straight to the top. Putting Blake through the table was their way of welcoming her to their division. The only thing that is forever around NXT is Fatal Influence's control over this division and the NXT Women's Championship. JC knows that Evolution is a historic event. As far as tonight is concerned, they'll oversee the action, but the woman getting her hand raised in Atlanta, Georgia will be JC Jane.
And I'm gonna tell you this, not to spoil anything, but good luck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, normally I would agree. However,
So
we did see them manage to pull up a victory over Stephanie. So, I mean...
Yeah, but here's my problem with this. It might not be as bad as Judgment Day, but you can see the cracks.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
The cracks are there.
Yep. Let's kick the matter out.
Because every once in a while, they'll kind of look at each other with that, like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Look. So I think it's happening. It might not be as fast as what... And I don't even know if Judgment Day is going to start falling apart now. I'm figuring...
They might.
I know they're going to split. It'll probably be more so when Liv comes back.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to wait until then. I think until then, they're probably going to come together.
And I'm pretty sure that we're going to have the Roxanne and Dominic story for at least a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And like I said, I really think it'd be cool. And I know it sounds absolutely horrible, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I think it would be great. And I think I've kind of brought it up. It would be great for her and Rhea to get on the same page and take the titles from Judgment Day, being Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez.
Yep.
You know, I think that would unironically be a fucking great match. You have the two powerhouses, the two little feisty chicks. I think it'd be a great match. But anyway, we see Thea Hale having a conversation with the contestants of WWE LFG Season 2. Lainey Reed joins the conversation. She says that Thea does a good job being played like a fiddle. Thea gives Lainey props for already having a big mouth with just showing up 2 weeks ago. Lainey says Thea hasn't changed at all. Thea was mere seconds away from brawling with Lainey until Last Legend shows up. And she tells Thea and Lainey to save their drama for another time and watch how the bougie bully handles business.
Mm-hmm.
And this was great. Ava calls Ethan Page backstage. And she's like, the fuck were you doing? I'm so tired of your bullshit. So you know what? I'm going to make sure that the Saints Paige tells Ava to make sure that Rick... Yeah. And they won't have to deal with the issue again. Ava tells Paige to not piss her off. Ricky and Ethan are required to meet Ava in her office next week. Ethan says that he's going to handle the issue on his own terms. Then we hear some ruckus in the background, and Ava finds Hank and Tank laid out. Once again, some bullshit. How long has it been since they won the tag team titles?
We already know we're
3 months, probably longer. And they've wrestled one time with Joe Hendry.
Mm-hmm.
Where the fuck are the tag team champions of NXT? You put them through this miraculous story where they were finding themselves. Then they ran the gauntlet match. They beat the arguably best tag team in the world right now. And then you throw them on the fucking shoulder at the sideline. Doesn't make any sense. Anyway.
Exactly.
Sarah Scriber has another backstage interview with Joe Hendry. He says he is glad to be back at NXT. Battleground is a night that he thinks about every single day. He can't change the past, but he damn sure can control the future. He says that he's going to regain the TNA World Championship at TNA Slammiversary 2025 when he defeats Trick Williams. Oh, I feel like a burp wants to come up, and it's not. Trick has been making himself very comfortable showing up to TNA whenever he wants, so Hendry is going to do the same thing with NXT. He says that Wesley has forgot where he came from, but he'll remind him next week. Hendry says that Wes is going to fight a 252-pound man full of pure motivation and drive to become the next TNA World Champion.
And I actually like this one. This is actually a little bit better because I think Chase is starting to get it.
Oh man, oh goodness.
But we go back to Chase University. Chase says Kyle Dixon and Uriah Connors need to get tough.
And then Kale says that his attitude is the reason why this university fell apart. And, you know, they leave the class because he's doing the same bullshit as every other week. And, you know, they're talking about, like, you know, I thought things would be different. I thought he would change, blah, 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 blah. And then he has, like, a little, like, thought bubble flashback or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see where that goes.
Like I said, I think that this might be the point in which he's like, okay, maybe I am being a douchebag.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe I need to do better for myself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Then we find out next week on NXT, Yoshiki Inamura will battle Jasper Troy. The winner of that match will battle Oba Femi for the NXT Championship at NXT Great American Bash. Plus, Miles Bourne collides with Lexis King. I think these are both going to be great matches. I cannot wait to see Lexis get his ass handed to him.
You know, the sad thing is, as much as I like Miles Bourne, and as much as I hate Lexis King, I want to make sure that's clear. I know how Lexis King is.
I don't think it matters. And I only say that because I feel like they're going to be pushing Miles.
They are. And I honestly believe they're really... And here's the thing. I know it's going to sound really bad, but I do think it has a small bit of truth. It might only be like 0.5%, but it is there. And I believe that's because of who he's dating right. Because I think they're trying to get him to the main roster as quick as they can.
Mm-hmm.
So they can kind of at least...
Yeah.
Because they do try to really help with that.
Yeah, that's nice. But honestly, if I'm honest, I feel like he
deserves it. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it.
But yeah, he is main roster material. And we saw that against Oba Femi, so
yeah, I mean, even though he lost.
But he lost by honestly, I think his fight was closer than Jasper's was.
Exactly.
And Jasper already had him hurt.
And the point I'm getting at is I would have rather had that one at Mania
Exactly.
than the title match we had.
To be fair, like we've said time and time again, I would have rather had a Monday night fucking roster than what we got there because that was anyway.
Again, and we've said this before, and you called it the minute Stand and Deliver was over.
Like, how much you willing to bet? This is the best we get all weekend. And you were like, no. The card is looking real good.
The card did. It looked great.
It looked great on paper.
Too bad it didn't end great.
It didn't start great. It didn't. The middle wasn't great. It didn't end. It was all just.
The middle was in. Like, I think the first two matches of the second night
were okay.
They were
passable.
And then before that, the whole first night, those two matches were like, okay, this might be all right.
This might be acceptable for a Monday Night Raw.
And then after those first two matches, so they went straight back to the toilet.
Anyway, fifth match and main event of the night: Jordynne Grace versus Lass Legend versus Izzy Dame with Tatum Paxley versus Jada Parker in a fatal four-way match. The winner will battle JC Jane for the WWE NXT Women's Championship at Evolution.
And again, I'm going to bring this up. I like Lash Legend. I think she's a powerhouse in that ring. She is definitely a beast. Jada Parker is great. I just don't like her character. It's like what I said. We always make the comment, do you like him or would you rather see him get punched in the face? Really, I don't care. I think she's great. I just don't like the character. I'm not
one way or the other
engaged in what she does.
Yeah.
If she is punched in the face, okay. If she's,
punching someone in the face,
I don't care.
I get you.
Exactly.
It really up in the air for me with her. But Izzy Dame, I don't know how to take her. I mean, she's been around enough. I know how to take her, but I don't know what she's trying to do with Tatum, and that's really kind of bugging me in the back of my head.
I think she's just trying to get her into the calling. It's really that simple.
But I think it's going to hurt Tatum in the end.
Oh, obviously. But I'm saying is that I mean the end goal is simple.
I do believe Sol Ruka and Zarya are going to be the ones to pick her back up and eventually make her a part of their group. I think that's where it's eventually going to go.
I think it's like somewhere halfway between the match. Hang on. Where is it?
Oh, yes. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I know what you're going
Where? Right here it is. Okay, so Paxley gets no. Sorry. Parker, let's start off by saying this is a great match.
It is.
Fatal four-way.
This match was exactly what it needed to be.
Yes.
It was not one-sided. I mean, there was multiple times that these girls, all four of them were in the ring, beating the hell out of each other. Mm-hmm. There was times in which Grace was attacking Lash. There was times Jordan Grace was attacking Izzy. There was a time.
Yeah, they were all going at it, and it was great. But Izzy whips Parker across the ring, and then Paxley trips her directly in front of the referee. Parker managed to roll Izzy up for a 2 count. Then Dame hits her with the elbow knockdown. Paxley then gets distracted by Sol Ruka, who comes down. And Zarya just fucking grabs her and picks her up like a sack of potatoes and walks out. It was great. Then a legend attacks Izzy Dame from behind. They start going at it some more. The match is going on and on and on. Everybody's getting their shots in. Everybody's looking great. But it all ends with Grace getting a slingshot double foot stomp, then a running boot to Legend, and finally planting Parker with the spinning rack bomb to pick up the victory. And then she is just staring daggers at JC Jane, like as they're up on the little pedestal thingy-mabobble they're on, like just glaring at her. It's beautiful. Then we go over to TNA Impact. The show. No.
Yeah, the show starts with Hendry.
I was trying to find it. But he makes his way down to the ring to kick off the show. He thanks the fans for sticking with him over the last couple of tough months. Whenever he had challenges, he knows the fans have his back and he appreciates it. The reason that he gets along with the fans is because they are honest with each other. Therefore, he has to be honest right now. He lost. He lost to Trick Williams. He lost the TNA World Championship to someone who doesn't work in TNA, and it's painful. It would be easy to pack his bags and go home so that he doesn't have to face the pain. Mm-hmm. But it's the fans that keep him coming back to work. And he says Trick has something that belongs to him and TNA. The title belongs to the fans. It was the fans that put Hendry in the position that he's in. He worked so hard to get to TNA, and the fans put him in the main events and on WWE PLEs. They helped Hendry and TNA make history, so Hendry is going to try to make something since the fans believe. He asked the fans to help him. You were here with my ascension, now help me on my redemption. Then we get Zachary Wentz versus Ryan Nemeth. This was an okay match.
Out of all of them for the night,
I think this is the weakest.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
But
again, this is the problem. You had NXT, which most of the matches were spectacular. You have TNA. Most of the matches are spectacular. Okay? You get tonight, we have SmackDown. And it's going to be, and even though it is the show before a pay-per-view,
I'm not.
it's going to be better than some of the other past weekends.
Is it?
They're usually better.
Is it?
They're usually
We've already gotten confirmation that we're starting and ending with a promo. You know how it's World Wrestling Entertainment? Where the fuck's the wrestling at?
It should just be we. Wrestling Entertainment.
Just World Entertainment. There's no wrestling. It's all just promos.
Exactly. I mean,
WST, World Story Entertainment.
all they're going to do is
Or World
promos in.
WSOE. World Soap Opera Entertainment. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, basically.
And I joked that WWE wrestling is a soap opera. We're addicted to it. It is what it is. It's
starting to become more soap opera than wrestling.
Again, it's like hockey, you know. And just hear me out a sec. You know how hockey is a great sport, and then when the fight breaks out, now it's like just eliminating the hockey from it, and you just have wrestling and then fighting.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of like we have a soap opera with people fighting. Now it's just we're not going to have a fight anymore. We're just going to have a soap opera.
Yep.
Exactly. We're just going to spend 2.5 hours talking. You get one match every week.
Exactly.
Don't give them any ideas, please, God.
Exactly.
Please,
Don't.
God, no. And the sad thing is, like, what we get an average of what, like 3-4 matches.
Like I said, give it another 5 years. They're going to have the YouTube title, and it's going to be the main event of WrestleMania, Logan Paul versus Mr. Beast or something.
God, just shoot me now. Anyway. But yeah, this good. It was an okay match. Even though Nick Nemeth is getting involved on that side, Zachary managed to pull up the victory.
And you know, I was actually, and here's the thing. I got so confused, and I even told you that. Like,
oh, that's right, because I forget. Nick hands him one of the tag team titles, and he gets in the ring with it, and the referee just looks at him like, "What the fuck are you doing? Give me that." So then, Zachary Wentz hits him with like the spinning kick or whatever, and then wins. I'm like, what the fuck was the plan there? To get disqualified?
I'm not even talking about that one. I'm talking about the time, like, Nick distracted the ref, or Ryan distracted the ref, I'm sorry, and Nick just kind of stood there. I was like, and he turned around and it was like nothing had happened. It was like, are you supposed to like do something? You remember what I'm talking about? I'm like,
oh yeah,
what was
I don't
that? It was like, somebody missed a cue. I don't know if it was Wentz or if it was Nick or Ryan or the ref even, but one of them was like,
oh wait! This wasn't in the script. This wasn't in the script. What am I doing here? Yeah,
it was that, and it's great. And you'll probably never know if it was a botch or anything. But it was that moment. It was like that 2 to 3 second window. It just felt like everybody went, "Oh shit, we didn't rehearse this part."
Yeah.
But I noticed that, like I said, and I even said something. I was like, "The fuck are you just standing there for?"
Yeah.
Like I said, Ryan distracted the ref. Wentz is just kind of standing there, and Nick is outside the ring, not doing anything. They're like, And then Ryan turns around and tags.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, let's get this bag rolling.
Yep, exactly.
But yeah, then we go backstage. Gia Miller is talking with Trick Williams about his title defense against Joe Hendry. And, you know, he's like, I'm ready for Average Joe. And as far as the main events go, let's talk about the main event for tonight. I got my money on AJ Francis because you know Trick NA is always flying first class. Oh wait, not again. Against Mike Santana. I forget. For some reason I thought he was fighting Joe Hendry.
But he talked about Joe Hendry.
But yeah,
he got the title offense against Average Joe.
Then we get the TNA Knockouts #1 contender battle royal.
I saw what happened, okay? And we'll get to that. Like, I watched the full match. It'll come clear in a second. But it got so confusing. I don't think anybody saw what happened.
I don't think so either.
Huh?
I don't think so either. But before the match begins, Masha Slamovich issues a chain match challenge to Killy Kelly for their scheduled title match next week. I don't think we ever got word if that was official or not. Alright, then Ariana Grace runs in and says she's working on something big, but she can't tell us what it is yet. Excuse me. Then we go back to the Impact Zone, the bell sounds, Battle Royal begins, and immediately the Elegance brand and the Inspiration eliminate each other. But that's a surprise tool that'll help us later. They continue through. Oh, it doesn't actually say who gets eliminated, but a lot of people get eliminated. We go through 2 commercial breaks. In the end, we are down to Tesha Blanchard and Indy Hartwell. They're fighting out on the ring apron, and we're like, what the fuck are you doing? Get inside the ring. But obviously we know now why. Because Ash by Elegance comes from up under the ring, runs in, body checks, and pushes both of them off the ring apron, and she wins the match. A replay then reveals that she actually went under the bottom rope when Elegance Brand and Inspiration knocked each other out earlier on. And then after the match, Masha comes down, and she is just, like, glaring at Ash, like, yeah, okay, whatever, who the fuck are you, what are you gonna do? And then JC Jane, of all people, shows up, and just kind of stands there, menacingly, or whatever the fuck you call that.
And I said this,
exactly.
I said this, and you kind of did make a point. I was like, I said, JC, you better just walk on. You don't want no part of that. And you're like, what'd you say?
I was like, she has to deal with Jordan Grace in NXT anyway, so like, either way you go, you're not having a good time, JC.
Exactly. Either way she goes, she's screwed.
Then we have, this is beautiful, the Call to Arms match, which the rules being, you start with your hand tied at the rope, and that's it. That's literally the only fucking rule.
Whoever gets their hand untied first
has the advantage. No shit, Sherlock.
But here's where the problem fell. And I understand that you create the match. It's spectacular, whatever. No disqualifications.
Yeah, it can only be won by pinfall or submission.
But here's the thing.
Ollie just has a pair of scissors.
Yeah.
He's just like, I don't feel good with that, actually.
And I think it needs to come to a point that he drops the scissors every cuts. And so he runs over and starts attacking Skyler.
Yeah, he's beating him up. But, Skyler's still managing to hold him off fairly well.
Yeah, I mean, he was flipping him over. He would get in the ring.
Yeah.
He'd flip him back over his shoulder.
Yeah, but he managed to launch him up and out of the ring.
Quite a few times. And
then Tasha?
No, it was
Tessa.
Touch, wasn't it?
No. Was it? I thought it was Tasha Steele's. Or no. No, I'm sorry. His best friend comes, hands in the scissors. He cuts himself free. Then Tasha hides him under the ring.
Tasha hit him under the ring.
And then, they start going at it. Eventually, Ali, despite everything, manages to pick up the victory.
Yep.
And then he goes out of the ring and picks up a steel chair.
To hit Skyler with the chair.
Yeah. And,
Hotch, grabs the chair.
Or no, he just gets up in his face, and then he drops the chair. He's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Then he slams him face first into the ring apron, tosses him inside, grabs the steel chair, is going inside to beat them both up. Tasha.
And Hotch slides in the ring to try to stop him. He hits them both.
No.
Or no, he was going to hit them both.
Yeah. And then, is it?
Did he hit?
No. It's my brain is bad about bad names. Tasha Steele jumps on top of them, trying to protect them. And it looks like he's about to hit all three of them, I'm going to be honest. But then...
This is the coolest damn part. Cedric Alexander, they're calling the Prime.
That's right, that's right.
Is that what it is? The Prime, I think?
I don't know if that's his official name. I know, because it said Cedric Alexander. I think that's...
I know, but I'm saying the Prime Cedric Alexander.
I guess.
But anyway, Cedric Alexander... I'm honest, and this is what I thought was great. Cedric climbs in.
They have their little stare down, and Tasha gets up, and Ali grabs her hand and starts to pull her out. Cedric reaches back, grabs her hand,
and she lets Ali's go.
Yep. And then he turns around all ready to fight, and then the great hands stand up, and they're backing up Cedric. And Ali just and slides out.
All three of them stood next to Cedric. And that was that moment of oh, fuck. Because I'm sure this is going to wind up being a much bigger story.
Oh, absolutely.
But Cedric was just... There's going to be way more to this, and I'm excited about how this is going to go.
I am too,
because again, I'm invested in this story. I'm not going to say I'm invested as much as the Raw and SmackDown, but I'm definitely invested in this.
Yep, exactly.
But then we have the system in the back. Moose says that Leon Slater will be in the biggest match of his entire career at Slammiversary, but for him, it's just another Sunday. Then Matt Cardona interrupts, and he wants to know what the system's issue is. Eddie Edwards says that Cardona doesn't even work in TNA. He doesn't have a problem beating his spray tan off him. Edwards is going to talk to Santina Marella. The system walks away, with Myers exiting lax after a brief look, a stare down with Cardona. Then we get the Hardys versus the Northern Armory. And this was an okay fight.
It was okay.
Is this the main event? No.
The main event was...
Right. Ali and... Yeah. Or not Ali. Fucking... Mike Santana.
Mike Santana and AJ.
But, this was an okay fight. It was a lot of Eric Young just being fucking crazy on the outside. I'm pretty sure he gets kicked out, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Because the referee spots him, and she's like, get out. I'm not dealing with your shit. Go the fuck home.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
But of course, it's the Hardys. They win, so.
But here's this interesting thing. And we have to come up with 40 by July 20th. I think we've managed that.
Oh, yeah.
But we get the Hardys, the Nemesis,
the Rascals,
and who was the fourth team? Was it First Class?
You're right.
Yep.
Are in a title match,
Fatal 4-Way.
Fatal 4-Way ladder match for the titles.
Yep.
Which I'm so glad it's a ladder match and not a regular fucking Fatal 4-Way tag team match, because Fatal 4-Way tag team matches are so stupid, because you can only have two competitors in the ring at the same time, which makes zero goddamn sense.
But I'm excited for this. And here's why I'm excited for this, for two reasons. One, the Hardys are great, especially in ladder matches.
Mhm.
And then the second, ladder matches are just fantastic anyway, for the simple fact that, like you said, it's basically no disqualification. The only way to win
Is grabbing the
is
title.
grab them.
I mean, look at the Street Profits ladder match. That was one of the greatest matches we've had on Raw, SmackDown in a long time.
So in the Hardys, I literally would love for you to see, which we probably should look it up, the first ladder match for the tag titles, if I remember right, ever. And it was Edge and Christian, the Hardys, the Dudleys, and Edge Christian, the Hardys, the Dudleys, and who were the fourth team? Can't remember who the fourth team was. There might have only been 3, but I'm pretty sure there was 4. But anyway, it was absolutely like these guys were stacking ladders.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had ladders on top of ladders on top of on top of tables that were like
exactly.
They were building like skyscrapers in order to get to the title. It was absolutely great.
Yep.
And how they wound up winning it, if I remember right, is they had 2 ladders that were like on the opposite ends of the ring and a table, or like, whatever, and a table going across, and you stood on the table and grabbed the titles.
Yep.
That's pretty dope.
So, I mean, it was probably, if not the best ladder match, definitely within the top 10.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
But anyway, so I'm really excited about that, because I'm sure the Hardys are going to put on a hell of a show in a ladder match.
Oh,
yeah.
They always do.
But at the end of the match, the Hardys win, and
Jeff calls out his favorite wrestler, Leon Slater. He says that Slater's been working hard every day. Slater is a future star and is on the road to Slammiversary. At Slammiversary, he will become a record breaker. He will become the youngest TNA X Division champion in the history of TNA. They know hard that Slater will do it, and the crowd is chanting for him.
But here's the thing, and I think this is interesting to bring up. Matt, when he was talking, he's like, there's a lot of things I could say about you. But I think the thing that is so hard for me not to want to say and needs to be said is it's not Leon Slater, it's Leon Hart. Or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like, because this boy, when one of them can't be there, he's showing up and
oh yeah,
he's giving it 110%.
Oh yeah, I mean look at their match in Canada for the tag team titles.
Yeah, that was a killer match.
Like they was showing up, showing out.
Yeah, they was.
So I mean, I think that is.
Oh yeah. I didn't even watch this match because I was
Here's the thing. I'll cover a little bit of this, and it's really, really quick and really, really simple. Leon Slater
is at ringside.
Decides, you know what? There's another seat over at the commentary booth, another headset. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna watch this X Division title match coming up next.
Yeah.
And here's the thing.
Moose
takes on 2 jobbers. It looks at Slater before the match even starts. He grabs a mic and says, "This is a warm-up for Slammiversary. In the spirit of the X Division, I request a triple threat match to show Leon Slater what to do, what to expect in the biggest match of his career."
And then he fights 2 jobbers and beats them up, and that's that.
And then,
so, I mean, yeah. But then, the main event.
Well, no, Leon gets in the ring. And they face off. They're having words like, you'll never be blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And Moose just kind of
rolls out.
Raises up the TNA division title, and
but then we get to the main event, and this was fucking great. We have.
I want to bring up a point to this part. I thought it was so fucking dumb. And I noticed so much wrong, but it was funny still. I'm not sure how serious Casey Navarro's knee injury really is. But he was like bending down, but he was holding the leg out and popping up on one leg. It looked really, really cool. Like he hopped up the stairs on one leg.
Yeah.
He would jump with one leg on the rope and hold the rope down for AJ to step over.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool. I'm not a fan of KC Navarro by any stretch of the imagination. Not a fan of AJ by any stretch. But I liked that KC was kind of
committing to the bit.
Yeah.
Whether it was a bit or not.
It was neat to see him. I'm sure that had to be, I'm not going to say a lot of practice, but there had to be a little bit of practice. And they're like, okay, how far can I really
go?
Push it.
Yeah.
But
don't be doing that.
Hey.
I know, you had a long day.
But anyway, this was a great fight. It was a street fight. And, I mean, they were taking it street fight to the extreme. I mean, they were putting each other through tables, hitting each other with their own moves.
That's right. Casey had his own table that said penthouse on it. First class penthouse.
Oh, he did? I didn't know that.
I noticed it. I didn't know what but it was all decked out in, like, their colors and stuff. But anyway.
But yeah, I mean, they are beating the hell out of each other all up and down the arena, into the crowd, out into the frickin' Florida Mayweather, whatever. Like, they was going at it.
See what you did?
Hey, don't blame me.
See? Don't be... Go to your room if you're going to be doing all that crap.
We're almost done. Anyway. But yeah, great fight. You mentioned it. AJ Francis hits Mike Santana with the Styles Clash, sacrilege. They call it sacrilege, whatever. And he kicks out because you can't do somebody else's finishing move.
And I said that, and I say it all the time. If somebody else does a tombstone pile driver, they're getting up from it.
Yeah.
If Undertaker did it, you're done.
Oh,
if AJ Styles does a Styles Clash, you're done. I'm not going to say if somebody else does a spear, and that's something I'll bring up on tomorrow night. Raw. I did actually find something for Braun Breaker's spear. And I kind of agree, but I disagree with it in the same sense. You can look it up, but we'll bring it up on the Raw.
Well, now I'm interested, but anyway.
But there's so many moves, like the RKO, the Stunner, which now is kind of what KO has been using lately.
Yeah, that's his signature.
But there's just so many moves that, like, the DDT.
Come on.
Originally was Jake the Snake Roberts, and now anybody can do it, and it usually doesn't end in.
No, it's just a move that you do.
If Jake the Snake Roberts did it back in the day, you were done.
Yeah. Or I know that was also Dean Ambrose's finishing move for a long time. But anyway, like I said, great fight, and it ends in the most spectacular of fashions. Because Casey comes up, he hands AJ Francis a wine glass. He chugs it, sets it down, and is going for his, whatever, the down payment or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. I think that's what he calls it.
Santana ducks it, grabs the bottle, smashes it over his skull, then hits him with the...
What is this? Spin the block.
Yeah, spin the block. He picks up the win. Then, after he grabs the microphone, he said, I have worked so hard to get where I am today. I want to thank the fans, but I'm not called the standard of TNA for nothing. When the TNA World Championship is mentioned, my name has to be mentioned too. I want to be a part of the main event at Slammiversary. Trick Williams, Joe Hendry, and Mike Santana. I'm not going to New York to lose. So, I would love to see that.
I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to tell you this can go down two ways. One, it doesn't happen, which I think is one. But the third one, Trick is going to throw a temper tantrum.
Oh, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's going to be even funnier.
Trick is going to throw a temper tantrum.
Okay.
Because now he don't have to beat Joe. He has to beat Mike. And I'm sorry. If I was Joe Hendry and Mike Santana, they might be two faces. I'd get Trick out and beat the living hell out of each other. That way,
Also, it's a triple threat. No DQ. Beat the bloody fuck out of him. Steel chairs, steel fucking steps. Actually bury his
What
ass.
I'm saying is, they need to not ignore Trick by no means. But Trick not being a part of the call, it doesn't matter. You two do what you need to do. Guarantee that TNA title goes back to TNA.
Yeah.
Or at least not Trick. But anyway.
Then we just have a few things on Discord. I don't think there's too many this week because there's usually not a lot of stuff for NXT and TNA.
It's usually stuff that winds up being more about SmackDown coming up.
Zelina Vega, which, oh god, the name. I know that name, but my brain is
The U.S. title.
She thinks it would be super dope to make a return appearance in TNA. That could be kind of fun. Moose is now the second longest reigning X Division champion of all time, overtaking Tigre Uno's reign of 223 days. He now looks to chase Austin Aries' reign of 298 days. We need Zeta Steel in NXT.
Vanity Project.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one. This was just what he said. You know, Trick made himself comfortable showing up on TNA, so I'm going to make myself comfortable showing up on NXT. You know how to say this. Hikuleo?
Or Hikuleo.
Hikuleo has reportedly been spotted in Saudi Arabia ahead of tonight's WWE SmackDown and tomorrow night's Night of Champions in Riyadh. He has competed in dark matches on the past two SmackDown shows.
I didn't show you guys that.
Does that mean? Hang on, no. Because now I'm interested. Is he joining up with Solo or is he joining up with Jacob? Because are they brothers?
They're all related. But yeah, he's part of the Anaru family.
Well, I thought he was like Jacob's brother, or am I misremembering?
No, that's Zilla.
That's right, Zilla.
This you can just watch it.
Hang on. Discord. There we go. Jeff and Matt Hardy threw out the first pitch today at the Mets game. Oh, I didn't watch this, but is it anywhere near as bad as Tiffany's?
No, actually, that's what I was trying to get to a point of. They actually did it.
They threw a legit pitch?
Yeah.
Fair fucks.
Both of them, they threw out two pitches technically. Because they let them both do it.
That's cool.
At the same time. But, yeah, they both actually got into the catcher's mitt. Unlike beaming somebody in the crowd, probably.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I really can't blame Tiffany. I probably would have done the exact same thing. I can't throw a ball worth of shit.
She probably beamed somebody in the top row.
You know what? I'd be happy with it. Do you know how much money?
That ball signed by.
Exactly. Do you know how much money that'd be worth?
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it wouldn't be, but
I'd get it signed by all the players plus her. I wouldn't give a rat's.
CM Punk says that he's going to try and top the pipe bomb on SmackDown. To be fair, that wasn't much of a pipe bomb. It was just bad. But that's also not a good thing, because that means she's going to be out there for like 10, 15 minutes just rattling on and on and on, and I don't care. I don't care. This is the part of the show where I go to bed.
Yep, exactly.
Advertised for SmackDown tonight. John Cena. Ugh. Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax in a last woman standing match for the title.
I am actually not excited about being a title match. I'm not excited about it being Nia Jax versus Tiffy.
But I'm excited for the last woman standing.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's good. Then we have the Street Profits versus the Wyatt Six for the tag titles. Great.
And then, I'm sorry, if this is not the show stealer, we have a problem.
I will be pissed.
Zelina Vega versus Julia for the women's U.S. title.
That needs to be the showstopper, the show stealer. 110%. That needs to be. If we're going to put all of our eggs in one basket, I'm going to say that's going to be the bar of the show.
Yep. Has to be.
SmackDown tonight in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia is completely sold out with over 25,000 tickets. It is now officially the highest ticketed episode of SmackDown in WWE history. Are you excited? Are you excited for more?
More circle jerking.
Yeah. Like I said, at this point, just take your clothes off. At least it'll be somewhat more entertaining than this.
I don't know if that'd be entertaining.
No, hell no.
It would be unexpected. It would get the wow factor at the very least. This is just going to be garbage. And then we get them closing. Yay! So then we have DIY versus Andrade and Rey Fenix. So we're going to have at least 4 matches.
Yeah.
And probably only 4. But.
Probably.
Michael Cole and Wade Barrett are set to call commentary for tonight's episode of SmackDown in Saudi Arabia. Why the fuck isn't Joe Tessitore there?
I don't know. But I saw that and figured I would put it out there.
And this is it. Lola Vice addresses a main roster call-up. I trust HBK and I trust Hunter whenever they feel like I'm ready.
And here's the thing. I'm going to tell you what. Lola Vice is good.
Oh, yeah.
Do I think she's as good as... Don't take this wrong. Okay? I think she's every bit as good as most of the NXT roster. Okay? Most of it.
Mm-hmm.
I do think there's probably at least 3 or 4 that are well above her. But, on that note, her and Stephanie were a hell of a tag team.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you're going to make a tag team with Stephanie, granted, Rhea would be a prime choice. But,
yeah.
I think Lola could pull it off just as easy.
Oh, I agree.
Yep,
I absolutely
exactly.
agree.
Because Lola's already proven that
she's good.
Her and Stephanie are on that page.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep, exactly.
Like they work together really, 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 really well.
Yep. I think she gets moved up relatively soon. Yep. Probably. Actually, to be fair, we haven't seen a lot of her in NXT, so probably not really that soon. But
that could also be when they pull her up.
That's true.
Too.
Yeah, exactly.
But if they don't have storylines for her in NXT.
It's fair.
I mean,
then again, do they really have any? Are they going to have any stories for on the main roster either? We've seen our champions. Actually, we haven't seen our champions at all. It's been over a month, probably closing on 2 months, if not longer, since we've seen Io Sky wrestle.
All right.
And this will be the first time in over a month that we've seen Tiffany Stratton wrestle. So, I mean, what the fuck are they doing? Please explain to me. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
They're polishing each other's peacemakers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that's about it from us, guys. If you made it this far on the stream, go and give us a follow so you can get notified whenever we go live. If you're watching on YouTube.
Hold on, one thing before we do all that. We will not be on tomorrow to cover SmackDown.
That's right, because...
We have Dr. Champion.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So we will not be back until Monday to cover Evolve, SmackDown, and not a chance.
Actually, that makes that really easy, so I can just upload our stuff to when I'm done with this. Anyway, anything else?
No, but I did want to bring that up.
So, if you've made it this far on the stream, go and give us a follow so you can get notified whenever we go live. If you are watching on YouTube, like, comment, share, subscribe. Let us know what you think in the comment section. If you want to chat with us, you want us on Discord. If you want to support us, press that donate button in the About Me section.
Press the button.
But aside from that, we ain't got anything else. I'm Tofari.
I'm CK.
I'm Knight Rider.
See ya.
See ya.